one of our panelists, Dr. Ji Sun Yuan, has got another function to attend. So, can we all settle down and let's get on with the question and answer series. Okay, we have come to the last part where we would like you to address whatever doubts you have, whatever questions you have for the panel. Please make your query short and succinct to the subject matter, that is the Singapore Budget 2009 Alternative Policies. So you can use the mic. Okay, we have someone there. Can you please go ahead?
Yeah, my name is Paul Anand Sambayan. I have a question. With all the talk of the upcoming general election, is there an approach to get this message across to the public that there are actually alternatives to the Singapore budget? What are some of the means that the people represented here on the panel are going to be taking?
I don't know who wants to answer this question.
This will go to the internet.
Okay, Mr. Leong Zi Hen will reply.
I don't really have an answer to your question, but because you are my friend and nobody is responding. I think since the budget was announced, particularly online, you see lots of alternative views, policies, debate. And the online citizen, my Monday Uniquely column, if you notice since the budget, every Monday I've been writing on one aspect of the budget. So 2 days from now on Monday, you will see a bit about what I spoke about, privatization of state assets.
This question of how we communicate these ideas to members of the public, I think that was the gist of your question. I think the means of getting this information out that there are alternatives, that you're not stuck with the path alone. I think it's very worthy one. Really, all this discussion that we have right now is just basically confined to the four walls and to the internet. But if you take as a fraction of the discussion and the people that are exposed to these discussions, as a fraction of the general populace, we are going to be very shocked. Because I suspect that we're still a tiny minority of the people that are very informed, clued in on what's going on. I think if we just take a straw poll, go down just to the whole percent and ask them, the budget, nobody knows. Much less cares about this whole thing. It's not that they are not affected, they are affected. But think about it, if you were to have a campaign and you ask them, I'm not talking about a political campaign, but even an economic campaign, where you're trying to sell a product, people all know about Microsoft, people know about Sony, people know about whatever sports they have. And you think about it and you ask yourself, how do they come to know about it? You see signs, you see billboards, you watch it on the TV all the time. Okay? But then if you ask them, do you know about these issues and so on and so forth, they don't have a clue. Why? Because they're not exposed, it's not in their psyche. And people really don't, it's just not in their consciousness. Do you blame them when it comes to the elections that they're not casting the vote for the opposition? So, my thinking is that if we are going to make any progress, and I mean meaningful progress, I'm not just talking about, well, you know, a percent or two here and there. I'm talking about making real, meaningful progress. The only way that I see that this is going to be possible is for Singaporeans like you to come in and join in the effort as well. And not just sit there and say, look, tell me how you are going to propose, and then I will consider giving you my vote. That's not going to work. Apart from giving us your vote, you've got to give your time, your effort, your blood, sweat, and tears. That's how it's going to work. It's only when you actually take up the baton together with us, you come on board, go down to the street and walk, distribute flyers, talk to the people. That's going to make a difference. I'm not discounting the effectiveness of the internet. It is going to be very effective. But over and above that, we've got to consider making sure that the members of the public, the average Joe in the street, they are going to be the ones that need convincing, that need to get an idea of what we're talking about here in this room.
I think the gentleman there, Mr. Tanvir, your concern is very, very, interesting, and it really involves Singaporean. But at this juncture, after 5 decades of PAP rule, the political realization of the people, the wickedness of the people are still on the very, low state. But as time comes, due to this crisis, I think most of them are waking up already. The sign is there. And I hope the coming general election, we may, produce a better result. And this is usually happen in many countries. You need politicians, especially those who are dynamic. Like you see in China, in those days, that was in the early part of the 19th century. Somebody got to wake up the people of China in order to realize their independence, to get rid of the the foreign power conquering the countries. And this, Dr. Sanessa have to ask them to raise up from their sleep, or they have been sleeping for too long. And this is what happened. We are here trying to, indulge into the people, trying to let the people know that they have to wake up and take into their hands how they are going to let this country of Singapore to become what they want, in which direction they want, in a dynasty or in a democracy. I hope they will choose definitely democracy if they have the chance. Because nobody can fault with this system, even with all the weakness that this system has. But the other are worse than democracy. I hope that will answer your question.
Well, yeah, the Reform Party shares the view of Dr. Chi, has put it to you very squarely. You should ask yourself what you can do for the opposition, rather than sit back and say what the opposition can do for you. And this, Mr. Jaratnam has always said there's a climate of fear. You should just, shake yourself out of fear and, come forward. Without your cooperation, there's nothing much that we can do, actually.
I'm Joseph. I'm a lawyer. I would like to ask the panelists 4 interrelated questions, and then I will set up the background of my talk shortly. My first question is, do you think that the Temasek Holdings and GIC could play a greater role in promoting the organic growth of local SMEs through investments? Secondly, do you think that the Temasek Holdings as well as the GIC could play a greater role in making our local economy more self-sufficient and self-sustainable than what it is now, which is export-oriented and dependent on European and US markets? Question number 3, do you think over the past decades, the Temasek Holdings and GIC have done
what they would or should do in respect of questions 1 and 2. And finally, the last question is there a deliberate policy with a masked political agenda not to promote the organic growth of local SMEs? Now, the background to my 4 questions is this. I'm extremely puzzled why the Temasek Holdings and GICs, who hold the bulk of our monies, embark on a trend of overseas investments and leave a trail of losses to which I doubt we would ever recover from unless the casinos, the integrated resort, bring another leg of economic wave. Losses which are disclosed comes to about 100 billion. It could be more, but I don't think 100 billion is a drop in the ocean which we can ever, the country can ever earn it back and put it back. I hope the panelists could answer my 4 questions. Thank you.
Mr. Ravi will,
I'll just say something first. I've heard anecdotes of SME businessmen bringing up novel and entrepreneurial ideas to the Economic Development Board, and after sharing the ideas and the context and the connections, it has been these ideas which were original, which belong to this SME businessman, has been absorbed by the GICs that the EDB introduced this businessman to, and has been presented as ideas and development programs of this GIC. So I don't think that, my personal opinion is, I do not think that that the government supports SMEs as much as they support MNCs.
Let me now, one SME told me that he offered his services to a big telco, and he found that no way will they engage a local SME. They prefer to buy the same service from a multinational company at a more expensive price. So I think the problem in Singapore is our managers will not take the responsibility to say, I will trust the local SME. In case something goes wrong, they get into trouble. So they might as well, doesn't matter, pay a bigger price to a multinational company. So I think this is something to do with Singaporeans not confident to take decision unless you are your own boss. If you are employee, you want to play safe. So you will pay for a more expensive price to a bigger. But to come back to answer your question, could we have built an economy which